Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. Hopefully you are all having a great weekend or a great week whenever it is that you are listening. So here we are again, Anne, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning again.
It is. Are you happy to begin?
I am, yes.
Brilliant. Where would you like to start this morning?
Something a little bit different this morning.
Okay.
Is I have two things really. I have a client who brought me a book this week.
Okay.
Because it reminded her of me. I don't know why it reminded her of me.
Yes.
But that's why she bought me the book.
Okay.
But the book is called Tuesdays with Maury.
Tuesdays with Maury.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And it's by Mitch Albom, Albom.
Okay, brilliant.
Now, I have read his books before, and they're about the same man.
Okay.
And one of them is The 5 People You Meet When You Go to Heaven.
Right, okay.
Which was a brilliant book. Now, his books make you think. They really do make one think.
Okay.
And this, basically, to begin with, I am reading it again. I am reading this one, so I'm not very far through it.
Yes.
But in the very beginning, he is a professor in America. We're talking about now. That's what Maury is. He's a professor.
Yes.
And when Mitch graduates, he's become very close to this professor.
Right.
Very close.
Okay.
And on their last day, he says to Maury says to him, "I'd like you to be my friend."
Right.
And he said, "Yes, I would love to be your friend." Now, this is something we all do. We say to somebody, "It's been lovely meeting you. We'll keep in touch."
Okay.
Especially as young people when you're leaving college or school or anywhere like that.
Yeah.
And you don't keep in touch because life takes over.
Yes, I understand.
And this book is showing you the selfishness, really, of youth, in a way, is that he didn't get in touch with him.
Right.
And he went on to a career.
Okay.
And money becomes his god.
That's interesting.
And his achievements, he's more interested in his achievements and who he is becoming.
Right.
Than the friendship that he has promised.
Oh,
that
really
happens to us all. I'm not.
Right, okay.
Please don't think I'm condemning this man. I'm not.
No,
for this.
okay. Yep.
But what happens is there's a reunion.
Yes.
And he goes to the reunion class. And by this time, Maury has developed a disease, which is making him paralysed and will eventually lose. He's got his speech,
yes.
But he will lose, fortunately that is, he will lose the use of all his body. And when he goes to this graduation, he's in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And obviously the guilt sets in,
yes.
Because he hasn't seen him. And Maury looks at him and says, "How wonderful to see you. You've come back to me, my friend."
Oh.
Which again makes you feel, or made Mitch feel like that. So he promises he will still continue to see him. And on his way to meet him, now this is only a few pages through what I'm talking about now.
Right, okay.
So I'm not telling you the whole story because I haven't got to the end.
Okay.
But when he actually goes to meet him,
yes.
He's in the car and he's doing business on the phone.
Right.
And he gets to the house and Maury's sat in a wheelchair in the garden, and sat in that wheelchair with minders who have to do everything for him.
Yes.
And he's not finished his conversation. So he stops the car outside and bends down as if he's looking for something. Finishes his conversation before he gets out. Realises how bad his professor is, and starts to feel guilty.
Yes.
And all Maury says is, "I'm so pleased to see you."
Oh.
No guilt trip or anything.
Okay.
So it's one of those books that I think everybody should read because we all do. We are all capable of doing those things.
So you highly recommend Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom.
Yes.
I haven't read this book. This is the first that I have heard of it.
Yeah.
And it does sound very interesting. It certainly does. And I'm sure everybody listening, you all are intrigued and interested in it too. It seems to be one of those soul-touching, life-searching novels that speaks to the human condition and something deeper than the transactions of the everyday life, something that you can unite us all about relationship and meaning. That's how I feel initially.
Yes.
And about responsibility.
Yes.
And about where we place our value in material things or in our friendships, which is a common theme that we often explore in our conversations. Yes. I feel we do anyway.
Yes.
Well, you've sold it to me. I certainly feel like I will be picking up this book and having a flick through it and reading it.
But as Mitch says,
right,
this is only the beginning, and then he's starting his graduation classes, his classes after graduation.
Right.
Because he starts going every Tuesday to sit with him and talk with him.
So
and
the story of mentorship and a role model.
Yes.
And a great teacher.
Exactly. That's when he's taught.
I see the parallels between yourself, Anne. I understand why your client has made this analogy.
Yes.
Connection.
So I would suggest that people start to read some books like this. His book on the 5 people you meet in heaven is unbelievable.
I have heard of that book. I haven't read it, but somebody or a few people have mentioned that to me over the years. So I have heard of that one.
Yes, but Maury is the man who doesn't judge.
Okay.
That's it. That's something that
we can all
is
learn
wonderful, isn't it? To find somebody who doesn't judge at all and just says, "Oh yes," if that's how you feel. Isn't it? Wouldn't it be wonderful if this day and age that's what we started to do? We wouldn't have so many people on so many sides, would we? Don't judge.
I agree. I do agree. We need to see the best in each other, the goodness, the humanity in each other. And then from that place, being able to share our grievances and share our discontent and our unsatisfactory experiences, but we're doing it from a place of respect and decency. And we're receiving it from a place of respect and decency. So we understand and we truly listen to each other. But that doesn't mean that we're going to solve our human conflicts, both small and large in our lives. But we may well find that we rub along with each other a lot better and that we are more forgiving and we can open the door up to greater forgiveness and that we can move forward together. And that, I feel, is the beginning and the end and the everlasting hope, is that there is goodness in us all.
And there is goodness in us all. Another book that I was given, I didn't choose it myself because I do normally choose all my own books, was The Shack.
Right, I have heard of The Shack, yes.
Yes, and I think that's been made into a film as well. So even if you don't read the book,
this is a best-selling, million-copy selling, bestseller book, isn't it? The Shack.
Yes.
It was a publishing phenomena a few years ago.
And you really have to use your imagination with The Shack.
Right. Okay.
Because of the characters in it. So I can't, I won't talk about the characters in it, but it's another book that people should read because they make you think.
That one's very much a faith-based, religious exploring, psychologically opening, spiritual touching, human relationship opening. It really is something that is traditional and unorthodox all at the same time. It's taking that which many billions of people believe and looking at it from a totally different perspective, yet at the same time the same perspective as always. It's very, very interesting. It's fascinating, in fact. Fascinating. And everybody will have a very different experience of it. And some people may love it, some people may not love it at all, but it certainly is thought-provoking. It's very searching, very, very searching, very interesting.
And I think with anything like this, with books like this, if people do start to, I love fiction. I do really love fiction.
Yes.
And I very rarely read books like this.
Well, that's a fiction book.
This isn't fiction.
Is it not fiction?
No,
I apologise.
Okay. No, it's not fiction.
Okay, I apologise.
Yeah. So, he is his professor. It's a true book.
It's based on a true story.
It's based on a true story.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I suggest that people do start getting together again. More people than I know some people are doing, and have book clubs and take us away from everyday life for a little bit.
Or maybe enhance everyday life, depending on
Yes.
which way you want to look at it. We can use reading as a means to escape, which I think is absolutely true and valid. But I also feel that reading, imagination, and I would also say for music and dance and play and art of any kind,
Yes.
it enhances and enriches our lives. It brings a greater context of meaning to life. And it enables us to see the majesty in the case of reading and fantastic and wonderful novels that are beautifully written, the power of language, and how emotive and informative and transformational imagination truly can be.
Yes.
And
Even a
that,
colouring book.
absolutely, that's my point. Everything has this potential. So I agree with you. I don't see a separation between the exploration of the mind and imagination and everyday life. There is obviously many separations and clear distinctions. I'm not talking about delusionment here. I'm talking about the benefits. There doesn't have to be distinctions. We can benefit from reading because it brings a greater vividness to our everyday life. It brings it alive. The resonance is sharpened.
I mean, I'm talking about these books now.
Yes.
But I also read books like Martina Cole, who has been in the crime world.
The gangster crime novels.
Ones. And sometimes they're very violent. They are very violent books. But it also, that informs me what does go on, because she writes from experience as well.
I have never read any of those books. I've spoken to you about them before. What I do know is a great amount of research goes into them, and from associates, family members, and informed research, there is a lot of truth in them. Not necessarily in absolute literal fact, but in the shaping of the worlds that they are exploring. That underworld exists.
It does exist.
And therefore, there is value in exploring it, not to celebrate it, but to be aware of it. And if we're seeking to understand it and potentially even change it, it's there. We have to acknowledge that worlds like that exist. And there is an element of excitement and danger as well, isn't there? And intrigue and fascination.
They have
as
their
always.
own code as well.
I haven't read the books, but
yes,
I am
but
sure everybody listening knows what
world,
you're talking about. Yes.
There is a code.
Yes. And often a greater level of principle. Now, this is a real oxymoron.
Yes.
This is a contradiction. A greater level of principle than there is often in the everyday waking world, so to speak. I'm sure everybody understands what I mean by that. But the legitimate world, the underworld, at least in fiction, often can have a greater principle. I'm not saying a greater good, but like you're saying, a clearer defined boundary code as to what passes as acceptable and what is unacceptable.
Yes.
The way things are done, it's the way that it is, and they know the way that it is. You live by the sword, and many of them do.
And
die by the
loyalty
sword.
is very important.
A different type of loyalty.
That world, yeah.
But again, loyalty
to each other is important.
Yes. And I'm not celebrating any of the actions of these people in any way, shape or form. But it is interesting in a sense that we often like to have life very clearly defined as goodies and baddies and black and white and up and down and us and them. But there are lots of people that smile and say they're very nice, and people say they're very nice, and yet they're not as nice as people think they are. Maybe we're all a bit like that at times, but the morality, the principle, the honour, the ethic behind our actions isn't as integral, because we are deceiving, even if it is putting on a pleasant front. Whereas sometimes someone who is who they are, they say what they mean and they do what they say, and people may not like that, but there is an authenticity to it, and there is an honesty to it, and you know where you stand, and the boundaries are set, and the lines are drawn. And if you enter that space, and if you cross those lines, and if you go beyond those boundaries, the consequences are there, and everybody knows them. We may not agree with it, we may not like it, but we know it. So in a sense, there is a principle there.
Yes.
I'm not saying right action. I hope that that's nice and clear. But there is a lot to be learnt from it.
Yes.
Life is fascinating, isn't it? Because it isn't as simple as people like to make it.
No.
And the human condition and our relationships and life and meaning is nuanced, it's deep, it's profound, it's unexplainable, yet it is absolutely tangible.
Yes. And you bought me the book Spare as well.
I did.
Which is...
it isn't a book that you would normally read, but I do know that you have... You had an intuitive empathy for Prince Harry.
Yes.
And I felt that you would find it interesting and engaging to read his book Spare. Yes. I haven't read it, and I still haven't read it. We spoke about it in a podcast about 6 months ago or so. And if you haven't listened to that podcast, you may want to go back and listen to it. And you share, don't you, about how you feel about it. And in a sense, you recommend it as well, don't you? You recommend
I
it
recommend
as a worthwhile read. I like Prince Harry. I've never met Prince Harry. I like him from what I can see. And I find him to be, from what I can see, a genuinely good man.
Yes.
And he is somebody that I would like to meet. That I'm just speaking in the most simple of terms.
Yes.
I have no interaction with him. I've never had any interaction with him. I would love one day to meet him. But from afar, I like him.
Yes. Well, people are, myself included maybe, very quick to judge.
Yes.
And they always say, don't they, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
That is the old adage, yes.
Yes. So we shouldn't... It's what it's made me do. It's made me look into... Because I do like the royals. I always have. I'm very, very patriotic.
Yes.
I really am, and I'm still patriotic about this country, 100%.
Yes.
But it has... The book itself made me look at certain aspects of royalty.
Yes.
Itself. And in a way, it's made me understand that nobody should have that amount of control over another person. That, we can't, and even in families we do it, don't we? They're no different than any families. But we like to control our children. And so think, many times people think they should be doing this, or this is the job they should have.
Yes.
Or you don't speak like that to people.
Expectations.
We all have expectations of somebody.
Yes.
And maybe that's what we should look at first, is our own expectations before we judge.
It's a really, really good point. It's true, isn't it? It is true that we have the opportunity to look at ourselves before anybody else. And often that which we find frustrating, infuriating, annoying, troubling in any other person is actually reflecting a part of ourselves that we are uncomfortable about. And this could well be subconsciously as well as consciously. And I find that interesting. We're never going to be able to see and be around everybody all of the time without the friction of life. No. Because life would be boring, wouldn't it?
It would be boring.
If there wasn't different personality and colour and taste, life would be bland and boring and monosyllabic. It would be just vanilla. It would just be some lukewarm, pale stew. And life is far more interesting than that. It's far more alive than words can ever touch. And to be annoyed and frustrated is part of that rich tapestry, and in a way is a wonderful thing to feel. If we are able to recognise it as such and move on, if we stay in such feelings, they can be extremely problematic. I would just like, and we're moving around here really, from stories and books to the royal family, to family dynamics, to expectations.
That's from a book, isn't it? So the book makes you think.
Yes, a stream of consciousness, a stream of conversation leading wherever it is leading. But what we mentioned earlier, I feel rounds it up, at least in in a supra theme, really, something that could transcend everything, is our relationships and our human relationships. And I feel the more we get to know each other and the more we see each other as human, even if we're not acquaintances, certainly not friends or family by the traditional sense, but seeing the spark of life in each individual, because we fear that which we don't know. And it's understandable, it might not be helpful, but it's certainly understandable that we are going to fear individuals we do not understand. And we're going to fear cultures and people we do not understand, and people who do not know us and do not understand us are going to fear us because we fear the unknown. And the more we see in each individual and each group of individuals, each community, family, the spark of life, the spark of humanity, the spark of consciousness, the divine in each other, the more we're going to see the kinship, but the more we're going to see that we are a kind, we're mankind, we're humankind. And that isn't going to solve the world's problems, and it isn't going to make us like each other. It's not going to make that annoying person any less annoying, or that paranoid friend any less paranoid,
No.
or that obnoxious neighbour any less obnoxious. But you are going to see that that isn't the totality of who they are. That is a fragment of who they are that represents something in a moment that we can see. They have a story, and they have goodness within them, and they will have parts of their life that we would have a resonance with. It may not be a large part, and some people are very challenging. Some people are very wicked in their actions, and some people are just awful and do the most awful things. So I'm not condemning actions. And there's a lot in this world that has to be stopped, and many individuals that are going to need to be stopped in what they're doing and in what they're allowing to do and happen.
While you're talking,
But underneath all of
Yeah.
that, I'm saying there is a meta truth. There is a kinship. We are a kind. We are mankind. And it isn't a poetic truth, although it sounds as best, I'm trying in a sense to be poetic. But it isn't that. It's literal. We are one mind, one consciousness, one soul, one family, humanity.
So while you're saying that, can you just tell the people who are listening
Right.
when the doorbell rang last night here? And we're talking about kindness.
Oh, right. Yes.
Because you answered the door, I did.
I did. It was about 9:00 in the evening, and the doorbell rang, and the neighbour across was bringing some food round. This is an Indian doctor, and she brought round some of the food that they'd made for a festival. I apologise to the name.
Their harvest
Their
festival.
harvest festival.
Their harvest festival.
Yes, I cannot remember the name that she said. She said it once, I think. But essentially, they are they're Hindus.
This is 4 young people who live together.
Yes,
Who all
yes.
work at the hospital.
They all work at the hospital, yes. So she brought round some of her food, or some of their food that they'd cooked, fresh food, and shared it with us. And they wanted to do that. And this was an act of a neighbour. This was an act of kindness. This was an act of humanity.
Yes.
And it's lovely. It genuinely is lovely as well.
And young people.
Yes.
I'm talking about it's young people,
yes.
this, isn't it?
It's good and true and heartwarming. And isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
And it just is wonderful that we have the opportunity to embrace that and to experience that. And I hope you all listening have a neighbour, many neighbours, that you can share food with, stories with, or even just a hello or a smile. And if you don't, maybe this is the opportunity to start.
Yes.
Maybe you could put their bins out, or if you are defrosting, not necessarily this week, hopefully not this week, but moving into winter, if you're defrosting your windscreen, maybe you can put some de-icer on your neighbour's windscreen if you know that they're going out to work roughly at the same time as you. Or if the road is slippy, you're going to put some salt out on your driveway or in front of your drive. You could always do your neighbour's drive at the same time. Even if they are cantankerous, maybe they completely think differently to you. They're going to vote for them, whoever they are to you. You vote for your party and they vote for them, whoever they are. And if you lean one way, they lean the other way, and they would never talk about what you would talk about. But there's no reason why that you would wish that they crash in the ice, if you know what I mean. That we can still find a commonality, a goodness, a humanity.
I can tell you a story about what you've just been saying.
Yes.
Is the young lady who came round last night. Now, we are not neighbours who neighbour and go into each other's houses. We are neighbours.
Yes.
Who, do just automatically will do something if it's necessary.
Right, okay, yes.
But I was out a couple of months ago, I was out watering the garden, to be honest, but I had one of these jet things on the end of the hose.
Yes.
So I started to do my car, just run the jet hose over my car.
Yes.
And her car was on the drive. And I knew she was in the kitchen because she had another lady, a younger girl, I think, with her. And I could hear them talking. So because the drives are together, I decided I would jet wash her car with the hose. So I'm doing that and I could hear her talking. And I thought, this is going to be streaky if I don't, wipe them. Her car will be streaky after I've done it because I wasn't using soap or anything. So I knocked on the kitchen door because she was in the kitchen and I could hear this shuffling. And she came out and she said, "Anne, I'm hiding. I don't want to see, I'm hiding."
Right, okay.
So I said, "What are you hiding for?" She said, "I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed you're out there doing my car and I'm in here talking and I don't know what to do." So I said, "Well, I'm just telling you what to do. You need to get a cloth and wipe your car because otherwise it will be streaky."
Yeah.
So yes, but you see, there's always humour in things as well, isn't there?
Yes. Yes, just interaction, life, personality.
And it should be normal like that.
Yes.
If you're doing something. It shouldn't be embarrassing.
Yes. Life has become a bit too standoffish, hasn't
Yes.
it? It's become stiff. Maybe we've all become a little bit stiff. I mean in attitude, not
Yes.
necessarily, well, maybe in physicality, but I mean in attitude. That we can lighten up, loosen up,
Yes.
interact, engage, poke fun at, in the spirit of goodness. There is a lot, and maybe, again, Anne, this morning has gone so quickly, hasn't there? So to round up, I feel
Yeah.
there is a lot of division, isn't there, across the world
Yes.
at the moment, and we've spoken about it passionately and honestly in the previous podcasts in the last few weeks, and none of that's gone away. If anything, it's increased in intensity. And just the anguish and sadness that is there, it is absolutely there, and we may well need to have to talk about it again moving forwards, and I hope you all feel it as well, because there is a lot to be concerned about in this world, and that's right to be concerned, and we need to address it, and we can only address it in solution, united. Divided, we will be ineffective. United together, truly, humanity
Yes.
united, can bring change. Won't be easy, but we can do it. But there's a lot of division. And this weekend there has been in the United Kingdom well documented and publicised within the media protests and counter-protests. I'm not getting into the politics of it or any particular quick conclusions. But for those of you who can think together, as in joined up thinking, holistic thinking, and for us this morning, Anne, you mentioned it in passing, I love my country. I love these islands. And I love who we are in the best of what we can be, and the positive influence that we've had, and the positive influence that we can have around this world. And I absolutely know and feel that our islands and our isles can be a conscience for the world, and can be courageous and brave, and lead the way in bringing about change and protecting and leading at the forefront of a revolution of consciousness across the world. But that is absolutely inclusive of I love humanity, and I love culture, and I love colour, and I love people. The two do not have to be separate. That we can have our great isles united and centred around goodness and faith, community, and we can shine that upon the world, and we can celebrate the world, and we can lead in that. There is too much divisiveness in this world. There's too many people drawing lines saying, which side of the line are you on? Let's draw a circle and let's all stand together around it.
I agree.
I hope you all have managed to remember the name of the books that Anne suggested, recommended, highly recommended. But if you didn't, would you like to let everybody know one more time if they'd like to search it out, maybe see if they want to read it, Anne?
Tuesdays with Murray by
Yes.
Mitch Albom.
Tuesdays with Murray by author Mitch Albom.
And The Shack.
The Shack.
By William Paul Young.
By William Paul Young. So there you go. Let's do this. And I've said that a few weekends in a row now, but I certainly mean it. Let's unite. And all of our differences cannot and will not override what unites us. So let's share in our human goodness and unite together in essence this morning and move forward in positivity to bring about positive change fueled by hope and faith and goodness. And that's in you all, that's in us, and that's in everybody across this world in potential. And let's invite everybody towards that. There we go, Anne. Okay, well, have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful rest of your Sunday, a wonderful week whenever it is that you're listening. And we look forward to being with you and speaking with you again next Sunday morning.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.